Welcome to another episode of the Money Wheel Podcast. The journey to wealth starts here with your host, Andrea Koput.
Hello, friends and future millionaires. Welcome to this episode of the Money Wheel. My name is Kris Hutchinson, and I've got Andrea with us today to talk about customers versus transactions. Andrea, how are you?
Hey, Kris, I'm doing great. Here to talk to the audience, and I can't wait to share some nuggets with them.
Well, excellent. Let's get started.
All right, so I'm going to get straight to it. Why you think you have customers, why you think you have butts in the seats, traffic, and you're wrong. If you think you have a customer, you really need to think about it because there is a situation happening. It's been happening since the beginning of time. Customers versus transactions, and why you think you have customers and you're probably wrong. The initial sale, lead, like, share, view. The initial interaction you have does not create a customer. The first time someone visits, clicks, buys, views, does not create a customer. This is the first opportunity you have. This is the same. It's a business versus pleasure mentality. Are they coming to you for a transaction? Is this a commodity or is this a relationship? How do you know when you have a customer? How do you know when it's just a transaction? It's going to really depend upon where they are in the chain and how they found you. How do you know when it's a transaction? And a transaction is just that. It's strictly business. It is in and out. It is going to the big box store to go get your milk and eggs. And you're not going to that big box store. You're not going to Walmart for the fuzzy feeling you get when you walk in. It's a commodity. It's something you need. You need it to live your life, but you're not going there for the warm, fuzzy feeling. This is a transaction. And to depend on the single sale is the single fastest way to exhaust yourself and go broke. Yes. If you are depending on single sale culture, one sale, one and done retail, one and done e-commerce, marketing, any of that, you are going to exhaust yourself, your business, and go broke. Long-term profits are made in the back end. And what does this mean? Long-term profits. That means a profitable long-term business is made when you increase that customer lifetime value by return purchases. This could be emails, referrals, affiliates, taking that customer and getting lookalike targeting and data points to understand who your customer is, why they're there, and how to find more customers like that. And that means you must create the transaction into the customer. And how do you do this? A customer is a relationship. A customer is a moral agreement. It's an unwritten contract between two parties to treat each other with respect. One sale, one pencil is a transaction. You needed it, done. But when you change this into a relationship by the honing and marketing and capture of the transaction, bringing them into a person that is looking forward to your emails, looking forward to your videos, your content, your valuable information. This is how you have a lifetime customer. And a lifetime customer will do what? Come back, of course. Bring their friends, bring their family, talk about you, and be that raving fan. Single transactions will produce money, will produce sales, will produce leads. But to always sprint, and that's what single transaction culture does. You are always sprinting to get the next lead, to get the next sale, to get the next video. And it's exhausting versus transaction, molding them into the customer. Turn the one-offs into the forever family. And that's what it really is. Customers are a relationship between the retailer, the deliverer, and the every Joe, the every person. So think about it now. How many of the people on your list, people in your group, how many followers do you have are transactions? How many came for the immediate gratification, the one night stand of the business world, really. And how many of them are customers that share, engage, and really are related into this business? And how can you take those transactions and turn a percentage of them? Because not every transaction will come a customer, but actively planning these transactional relationships into lifetime customers, that's what you need to think about. And how can you do that? How many people can you guys, Kris, how many people can you guys think about that you can turn from transactions? And how valuable would this be to any entrepreneur when they can turn their transactions into customers?
No, that's actually it's super important to do. Because if you're constantly spending your advertising dollars just to get people in the door, and then they're leaving right away, I mean, you're throwing that money away, really, when it's so much easier and it's so much cheaper to bring them in and let them stay, and to be a good host and to cater to their needs. Because once you get over that initial hump of, the first time they don't know who you are, you've got to establish that rapport. And if you have to do that every single time for every single transaction, it's just, it is exhausting. But once you get the rapport built and the trust is, and the likability is there where they know who you are, then it makes it so much easier to get that next sale, then the next part. And yeah, with having customers as raving fans, I mean, that's the best thing ever, because they're just, you don't even need to market. They're doing all the marketing for you, because they just tell everybody they know how awesome you are. And it's easy as pie after that. If you get a couple people that do that for you, I mean, yeah, that's when you see that exponential growth.
Bingo.
All right, well, that's all we got for this week on the Money Wheel. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Money Wheel Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and like the podcast. For everything that was talked about in today's amazing show, go to moneywheelpodcast.com and get today's show notes, past episodes, and most importantly, you can connect with Don Shade on all his social media platforms. Again, at moneywheelpodcast.com. If you are just looking to email Don, you can email him at don@moneywheelpodcast.com. For a list of all our tools we use in our business, you can go to moneywheelpodcast.com/resources. Again, thank you for listening to today's podcast, and see you in our next episode of the Money Wheel Podcast.